everyone, welcome to another edition of Johnny Vlogs. I'm John Lorden, and before we get started, I have to thank new Patreon supporter Shauna Shepard. Thank you so much, Shauna. Alexandra Serrano. Thank you. It just always lifts me up to find new people supporting me on Patreon. And I also wanted to give a quick shout out to Marquise Turner, who's a previous Patreon supporter, but he actually upped his pledge. Marquise, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Each and every one of you on Patreon is so important to me because you guys are essentially telling me that I need to keep pursuing down this road of my dream of doing content exactly like this, but also a bit more like Brain Scratch and Searchlight. And that support is just invaluable in terms of helping me be able to do all this. So thank you, each and every one of you Patreon supporters. I truly appreciate it. So I wanted to try to talk about a lighter topic today, but unfortunately, this one's just weighing a little heavy on my heart. So I just want to spend some time with you and address this. On Sunday, we lost a very talented actor named Anton Yelchin. And if you're not familiar with him, you probably know him most from the Star Trek reboots. He plays Chekhov. He has an excellent Russian accent because he was actually born in Russia and has a lot of family that's Russian. But I really fell in love with him on a show called Huff, which was a really good show, and he was a bit of a young actor in that time. And there's really some strange circumstances around what happened to Anton. Apparently he was leaving for a rehearsal. He has a very steep driveway. He was, I think, near the top of that driveway, apparently put his car into park, ran out, I think, to go get something back at the house. I'm not sure. Some of the details are kind of light on this. But the vehicle, which was a Jeep Grand Cherokee, rolled backwards and pinned him against a wall and unfortunately killed him. And he was only 27 years old. And it's a huge shame. He is a bright light in terms of young actors. Extremely talented, very compelling performances. Luckily, he leaves a very big body of work behind. He was a very obviously a hardworking actor. He got a lot of jobs, and there are several roles of his that are filmed that haven't even come out yet. So we're still going to be seeing some new work for him, including the Star Trek Beyond, the third Star Trek, or the second sequel to come out. But I just wanted to call all of your attention to Anton and ask you to please check him out. If you go on IMDB, you can see his body of work, which also included the Fright Night remake, which, you know, I knew and loved the original Fright Night from the 80s, and this new one, I don't know if it was quite as popular as the original was, but he did a really good job in it. Very likable character. He always just had this quality about him when you'd see him perform where he was just a guy that you wanted to see do good, like almost kind of like a Michael Cera type, where you think he might be a little nerdy and, you know, maybe he's not too slick with the girls or stuff like that, but you were always rooting for him. And more than that, just watching his career and watching all these great performances that he had done, I feel like we kind of got, as an audience, that we've kind of gotten shortchanged. I think that he was clearly yet to do the best of his work, even though he was a phenomenally strong actor. Many people are talking about this. I'm sure you probably already heard about it already. People are all over Twitter talking about how brilliant he was. It's just really a shame, and it kind of hits me in a weird place to lose someone so young and to something seemingly avoidable. Apparently, this model of Jeep Grand Cherokee had been recalled for this specific reason. There were several people that thought they had put their car into park, and apparently there's something about I think when they opened the door, that the chime was not going off to let them know that they weren't fully in park, and they would step out of their car and their car would go rolling. Many other people were injured by this. It only affects, I think, 2014 and 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokees. I'm running on information that was coming out very quick yesterday, so some of this might be updated by the time you even see this video, because a lot of people are looking into this, and I'm sure Jeep is not happy with having this type of negative publicity. As a matter of fact, yesterday when I was reading about this, it was mostly theories that this has to do with the recall. And today, just glancing at some articles before I fired up the camera here, I can see that it's pretty much confirmed that he did indeed have one of those vehicles that was recalled. So, just breaks your heart. He lived in Studio City. Unfortunately, that's where it happened. I actually used to live in Studio City and was familiar with, when you live up against the hills like that, you have some very crazy driveways that can be extremely steep in certain places. So, if your vehicle is not parked and with the emergency brake on, there was always potential for this kind of thing that I was aware of just when I was living in that area. But just a heartbreaker, and I had to get it off my chest. I just wanted to let all of you know about it. Hollywood just is not going to be the same without him. And like I said, I just wish that he had gotten that one role that so many actors go for. Judging by his career trajectory, he was going to get it. It was just a matter of time until the right role was written for him. Now looking back at it, he played the lead in a few movies, and I think that we will definitely watch those and maybe wonder what else he could have done for us. But just an amazing actor, does a great job as Chekhov, which, if you guys have seen my channel at all, I'm not the biggest fan of the Star Trek reboot universe, but he was definitely a bright spot in that for me. So I'm happy we will at least get to see him in that role one more time, but it just breaks my heart that that's going to be the last time that we see him in that role. I think I also was kind of searching within myself, what is it about losses like this that hits us so closely? I mean, I don't know him personally. I'm not part of a circle of friends of his or anything like that. And each generation seems to have its own big loss like that. The first thing when I started talking to my wife about details about, some kind of weird accident with Anton Yelchin, the first thing you think about is weird car accidents like, what happened to James Dean and just Hollywood youth gone too early. But we do feel connected to these people. That's part of what makes them great actors, is that they're able to share themselves in a way with us where we associate with them, we associate with their feelings, and he did a really, really good job of that starting at a very, very young age. He was really, really talented about that. So I think that, it's not the same as, saying that someone extremely close to me died. The level of grief is definitely a bit different. But I do understand why we are connected to these people, and I do think that we should appreciate them for opening themselves up in that way so that we can feel that close to them. That is truly a bit of magic in itself, and he was just wonderful at it. So, if you're not familiar with Anton, I'm going to put a link for his IMDB in the description box below so you can take a look at his body of work and maybe check out some of his films for yourself, and you can see what I'm talking about. You will not be disappointed by his performance. You might not like the script in some of them, but I can tell you that he always gave it his all with his performances, and I just really appreciated his work. Thank you so much for joining me on this. I'm sorry it was kind of a downer, but I'm telling you, it was just, I tried to keep looking for other topics and it just kept popping back to the front of my mind. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. I hope you're all having a wonderful week, and I will catch you on the next show on the Geek and Dorks channel. Take care and appreciate everyone in your life. You never know when they're going to leave us. Take care, everyone.